Hello, thank you for watching my video. My name is Destiny Pettit, and today I'm going to be talking to you about women and mentorship and how that equals empowerment. Today I'm going to talk about two topics, which are what are the barriers to retaining women in STEM disciplines and how we can go about decreasing attrition rates in those STEM disciplines. So currently, the rate of women has increased from 8% in the 1970s, when women made up 38% of the US workforce, to 50% of the US workforce, but representing only 27% of STEM workers as of 2019. And STEM jobs make up 7% of all US jobs. And so there's a really big workforce in STEM jobs, which can be filled by women. And I wanted to include this graphic here because it really shows you that breakdown of STEM jobs between the 1970s through 2019. And you can see that some of those fields are doing really well, like social science. Within the social sciences, women represent 65% of all of those scientists. But other disciplines like computer workers, you can see here, is actually decreasing over time. So we can really work in that area and all of these areas in general to increase the amount of women represented. So I wanted to share with you two little stories about women in these STEM fields. According to the Society of Women's Health Research, in 2018, more men named Michael gave presentations at the JP Morgan Healthcare Conference than all female CEOs did. That's just shocking to think that more men named Michael would give presentations than women in general at this conference. But in a study by LivePerson in 2018, they surveyed 1,000 people. And of those 1,000 people, only 3 could name a real female scientist, while 20 of those 1,000 people named Siri and Alexa as real female scientists. So not only are we seeing women being underrepresented in these STEM fields, but in general, women just aren't represented to the general public either. And so the general public isn't even able to recognize female scientists, and that's a really big problem. So the next question is, why should we include women in STEM? Well, when we include women, we see an increase in diversity, and that increase in diversity leads to new perspectives on different scientific topics. And with those new perspectives, we can see more accurate research. We can also see innovations happening for women, by women, so actually creating products and thinking about solutions to issues in a new way can really be beneficial to society in general if we have that representation. We also have this need for more STEM professionals in general. With currently we have more STEM jobs than we have STEM professionals to fill them. So having women fill those positions can be very beneficial. And some research also shows that when women are represented in the workplace, we see better economic performance in general, as well as better outcomes for that workplace. So there are several barriers to entry for women in STEM, as well as barriers to retention. And those include the fact that women have the lowest recruitment and retention rates in STEM across all levels. So those levels include undergraduate, graduate, postgraduate, and professional levels. And we see that low recruitment and retention, even when efforts are being implemented to retain women. So when hired, so when you actually make it through that undergraduate, graduate, postgraduate, when you're hired by these corporations or universities, these women do not have the support systems that are necessary for keeping them. And there's also gender bias. So we've probably all heard someone say girls aren't good at math and science. Well, that's not actually true. Girls are as good, if not better, than boys at math and science. And what we see is a decrease in those math and science scores at around the middle school and high school level. And then 91% of women reported that gender bias is an issue in their everyday working life. And there's a number of other reasons why women are dropping out of the workforce, including sexism in many STEM fields, which includes, derogatory topics, stereotyping of these women, harassment. We also see that women are paid less, they're being promoted less, and they really have less access to work that is more prestigious and actually could get their name out there. So what can be done to increase the retention of women in these STEM fields? One approach that I'm really excited about and that I really like to work in is through mentorship. And mentorship is a relationship in which guidance is provided by an experienced person to an unexperienced person. So this is a mentor-mentee relationship. And so mentors have a serious role to play for these mentees, and it includes the support and growth of the development of students, of these mentees. So really working with them to grow and develop the skills that they will need later in life, as well as share career experiences. So those more advanced mentors can really share with these mentees, what should be expected in these certain careers and how to get to those careers. You could also help them with setting career and life goals. So it's a very personal relationship where you're working with them to really reach those goals that they want and ultimately need to be successful. And a mentor should really be trustworthy and confidential and respectful because, like I said, this is a very it's a very serious relationship, and personal stories and personal ideals will be shared. And so you really need to be respectful of your mentees' experience and make sure that you're trustworthy and you're not just sharing their experience with a lot of people. So why mentorship? So mentorship has been shown to help women at all career levels with feelings of isolation. So in these male-dominated fields, we see, you might be the only woman working in this field. And so having a mentor that's also a female can really help you feel like you belong in that situation. It can also help with navigating new environments. So a higher up professional can help you learn the unspoken rules of this new field. It can really help you be successful in that new environment. It can also help with learning strategies for success. So pointing out things that you should do, you shouldn't do, and approaches to meet those goals that you have set for yourself in your career. It can also help encourage the pursuit of STEM degrees and careers, especially in those high school and undergraduate students. So showing them that it is possible that women can succeed in these fields is very beneficial to the retention of these students. It can also help overcome bias and stereotypes. So having a mentor that is higher up in the corporation or in your field in general can have somebody that can actually speak out against the bias and those stereotypes that are coming out and hopefully change the dynamics of that field. You can also work with increasing opportunities and engagement to explore skills. With a mentor-mentee relationship, we really want to have this low stakes atmosphere where mentees can explore the skills that they want to learn and really explore opportunities that are out there in a way that if they do fail, it won't be detrimental to them in the future. And it also helps improve communication and interpersonal skills. So really learning to discuss field-specific ideas in a low-stakes environment can really boost your mentees' confidence and help them when they move out into the field, help them really be able to communicate their science and also work one-on-one with people that might not have the same viewpoints with them. So those interpersonal skills. And I like to end this with a couple mentoring programs that I think are really beneficial and are doing really good work. So the first is Progress, and this is Progress and Earth Science Women's Network are both women focused. And they really work to maintain and retain women in STEM disciplines and especially the geosciences. The Earth Science Women's Network has all stages of career professionals from, I think there's even some high school students to undergrad, to graduate, to postgraduate. There's academic professionals, there are industry professionals, there are end career professionals, as well as retired women that are all in this group. So there's people at all stages of life, and they're all willing to share advice with you. And it's just a super beneficial group to be a part of. There's also Mentoring 365 and the National Mentoring Partnership. And those two are not women-based, but they do provide mentoring where they match you with someone that has similar interests and that could really help you bolster your career. And then finally, the Clean Water Science Network is one that I've worked with over the last 3 years, which helps students from Latin America pursue graduate research in the United States. And it's really beneficial because it helps those students work one-on-one with a mentor in which they learn important skills like creating a resume, learning to speak English better, learning how to write a personal statement, learning how to apply to college. It's just a really beneficial mentoring program that has the ultimate goal of educating the students, bringing them to the United States to pursue graduate work, and then hoping to have them return to their home countries and where they can implement what they've learned. So mentorship programs are around, and if you have time, I would highly recommend becoming a mentor. It is very rewarding to see someone else succeed, and it's essential to helping women stay in these STEM fields. So thank you for listening to my talk. And these are my references. And if you have any questions, you can send me an email or ask me a question on my contact form on my website. Thank you.